I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro, who actually differs from the white conservative in the same way that the fox differs from the wolf. Their appetite is the same. Their motives are the same. It's only their mannerisms and methods that differ.
See, it's no in between. You're either free or you're a slave. There's no such thing as second-class citizenship. That's like telling me you can be a little bit pregnant. Today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
And so I believe that education process must be a process of two steps: inspiration and information. So I seriously give information, but black people are a people of rhythm and spirit, so I also give inspiration.
And everybody's smart enough to know that, we've been slighted, and we want ours. And I don't mean by ours, 40 acres and a mule, because we're past that. But we need help. For us to be on our own 2 feet, us meaning youth, or us meaning black people, whatever you want to take it from. For us to be on our own 2 feet, we do need help. Because we have been here, we have been a good friend. If you want to make it a relationship type thing, we have been there, and now we deserve our payback. It's like you got a friend that you don't never look out for.
That means you're still running a plantation, and we reject your plantation and your plantation mentality. It's the time of Exodus.
Right. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the Purple Pill Politics. My name is MoneyGram, a.k.a. Saul G. You can follow me at 50 Shades of Saul G on Twitter. You can follow me at Libre TV at Saul G. You can follow the entire Libre Network on IG at the Libre Network on IG. Or, like I said, shout out to everybody watching us over there on all major platforms again. So if you go into any major streaming platform, you can type in Libre TV and find us. You look for the cloud, and that's us. So yeah, we back on every single major streaming platform: Facebook, Twitter, Libre TV, and that other white platform. So yeah, we everywhere right now, man. And I'm joined as always by my co-host, looking very tropical, outdoorsy today, man. I'm man, outside energy of you today, man. But go ahead and let the people know who you are.
Yeah, the infamous one, aka G Frage, aka Corey. Definitely on Wednesdays, I'm Barack Obama. And like I say, one half for the BPP. Let me be careful because the other network really don't like that one. Yeah. And the Purple Pill Politic, I'm just your guy, your boy. Glad to be with you. I'm outside today, man. It was feeling too good. Hot Atlanta. As they call it. And it's definitely hot. Some slave heat going on today, but I'm black enough to bear it.
Okay, well that's what's up, man. As always, commenting. Broadcasting live from Iron Man's basement. Look like your boy gonna be able to pay rent for one more month. Shout out to our homies over there at Aquarian Anarchy. They up next.
What up, y'all? Love y'all.
Off at 8. Yeah, yep. Showing some love to us, man. If you watch us on Facebook, that white platform, or any other place, you know what I'm saying? Just let us know, man. Check in. Let us know, man. Say hi, man. We'll go ahead and let you know what's going on. Shout out to everybody over there at Libre TV as well.
Libre TV. You can find me over there at Inspires the Block, real quick. You can find me over there.
No doubt. All right, man. So let's get right into it, man. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, man. I've been doing a little bit about it on Twitter. The Olympics, man. We talked about this a little bit on Brown BPB. we talked about it a little bit on BPB on Monday, man. But the Olympics, man, we both agreed that we have not watched it. I explained to you why I'm not watching it. You understand what I'm saying? And you said you haven't had a chance to watch it. But even though we have managed not to watch the Olympic Games, controversy apparently in 2021, the new theme is with the Joe Biden administration, right? We just got to find something to make it controversial. And if you haven't been paying attention, gymnast by the name of Simone Biles dropped out of the Olympics, and she cited mental health issues. And I'm not going to put the whole thing on the air quote right or the Republican side on this time, but I will say there were a lot of individuals that lost their minds about her withdrawn from the Olympics. So first, let's just set it up first of all. What were your thoughts about Simone Biles before the Olympics?
I mean, I thought she was a true champion. I mean, she represented the country real well, and especially in the Olympics years that she's been doing it, on all levels on gymnastics, like she's represented it real well. And so, I mean, that was my thinking. Like, I had nothing against her,
right
at all.
Now you got to remember she went to the Olympics in I believe 2016, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so
crushed all records.
Right, so she did her thing in 2016, and during that time period, had you known her? Did you hear anything about her politically? Did you hear about her being associated with Black Lives Matter? Did you hear her come out with any strong political opinions at all during that time period?
Not at all. No.
That was my point, right? Because I was sitting there thinking, like, why is she getting all this hate? And we'll get to that in a second. But I'll admit the same things. I grew up during the Dominique Dawes era. Dominique Dawes is always going to be my favorite gymnast of all time, period.
Yeah, mine too.
But it was no disrespect to Simone Biles. I'm not even disrespecting her skill, because apparently she even got a move named after her called the Biles. So it was no disrespect to Simone Biles. You just got your favorite the same way. Some people can be like, oh, I'm rocking with Mike over Kobe or LeBron, or however you might choose to pick it. But it's like you're going to pick who you want based on your era. We can talk about rap music. Don't matter. Most of the time, you're going to pick somebody from your air quote era.
Yeah.
So I started seeing all the Simone Biles hate. I started like, okay, well, let me see if she got some quotes. Let me see if, maybe she said something, because I ain't gonna lie, the majority of the hate was coming from the right. So I was like, oh man, maybe she don't like Trump, and I'm trying to find something, right? But apparently she had a t-shirt on that said the GOAT. And because she put a shirt on saying the GOAT, making her believe that she's the greatest of all time, that's why people were so angry. And I'm like, you got mad because as an athlete, right? It's like right now, if me and you go get on the court and we play as some youngsters, we might get our behinds whooped, but we ain't gonna go out there like
you gonna get whooped. I ain't gonna get whooped.
Exactly my point. I ain't gonna lie. At this point, I don't even know if I got my old athletic confidence, right? But you gonna go out there with some sort of bravado about yourself.
Yeah, without question.
Because it's a athletic competition. You don't want the American track team going out there if old boy Usain Bolt was still running. Like, hey, what's your chances in the 100 meter? Well, the silver medal is still available. You'll be like,
really?
That ain't the guy you want running to represent your country. You'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna beat Usain Bolt, because you got to have that mentality. Otherwise, there's no point in you going there. There's no point in you showing up. So that's kind of how I was looking at it. And apparently, from what I've just been able to find kind of on social media and stuff, people were really going in on her because she had a shirt on that said the GOAT. So what are your thoughts about the hate so-called originating from the fact that she had a shirt on that said the GOAT?
I think that's, as Americans, we consider ourselves the best around the world.
We do.
Right. But I'm going to go back a little bit because it makes me think, right? If that's a problem, right, that, people found that she had a shirt on that said that she was the GOAT, which I did see that too. I seen that. Then why is this an issue? And the reason why I'm saying why is this an issue, because we're the only country, right, that beat each other and called each other the world champs, right? Like, right? NBA world champs, NBA, NFL Super Bowl world champs, World Series. Like, no, we didn't play the world. We played ourselves, but we that arrogant and cocky. We can accept that part right there when we beat each other. Right. But when we got somebody that beats the world, literally beats the world,
it's problematic.
It's problematic. Yeah. It's America's confusing right now in these times, man. Like, I don't understand where we're at, where we're going, and why is so much like you would always say, manufactured outrage.
Right.
You know, like once again, we're the only country that we beat each other and call ourselves the world champs.
Or how about this, right? You know, people will say, "Oh, everybody wants to come here, right? We're the most popular place on earth. We're the best place on earth, the best place to live." All these different things going on, right? We got all these things that we love talking about America. We're proud to be an American. America's the greatest country on earth, right? So if I had a shirt on it with the American flag on it that said "GOAT," nobody would have nothing to say.
No.
But it's like, if I personally identify myself as being the greatest of all times, now it's problematic. So the main reason why I love pointing this out is because it seems like America has somewhat of a what kind of a word I want to use this? It's like a adjustable, like, arrogance is what I call it, right? If we're talking about the military, it's okay to be arrogant, right?
Yep.
We're talking about anything sports, politics, our country, our economy, anything dealing with America, we're allowed, when you want to throw like patriotism in there, we're allowed to be as arrogant as possible. But once again, when we talk about the concept of the individual, you don't want the individual to be arrogant in no way, shape, or form, even when they have shown themselves to be excellent. Like, for example, LeBron James, right? Everybody, and I'm not even trying to really, I mean, this ain't even that big of a deal, but like Space Jam, right? I saw the movie. It wasn't terrible, but it was getting so much hate because people hated LeBron James. And I'm like, okay, yeah, LeBron James as an actor, yeah, he might not want to have no arrogance, but at the same time, he's still been in movies, right? So it's a situation where it's like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, why wouldn't I, if I was LeBron James, why wouldn't I say I'm going to be the greatest? You understand what I'm saying? Why wouldn't I go in there with that mentality? Because it's not like you can argue him over Jordan, but the bottom line is how talented he is, right? It's like arguing Prince over Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Two extremely talented people, and either one of them said they were the greatest musician ever. You can argue however you want to, but it's like they have a right to say that.
Yeah, they have the right. Yeah, I agree.
You see what I'm saying? Somebody like Simone Biles, based on what she did in 2016, the same way you can take somebody like a Michael Phelps. You got a right to say you're the best because you went on the field against the world and proved it. You know, our women's soccer team, you can call yourself the GOAT. Women's soccer, we're going to get into them in a second. Women's soccer don't really lose. The women,
no, they don't. Nope.
You know, just like Brazil soccer was in men when they were dominant for a long period of time. If Brazil said we got the greatest soccer teams ever, you can't really argue it. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got the one name player from Brazil, Pele, Ronaldo. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? But it's a situation where it's like, Jeff makes a good point.
Yeah, I was gonna add that because.
Go ahead, talk about Jeff's point. Go ahead.
Because Jeff just made me think. Like, I remember watching an interview when I think it was Venus Williams was a young girl, and she was talking about how confident she was of becoming a world champion, and the white reporter kept asking her, following up the question, like, why do you believe that you're, why are you that confident? Why do you say it so easy? And that's when her daddy jumped in. The girl said what she said, you know what I'm saying? So right. I don't know if you saw that video of that. They got mad, but the thing about it, he was defending his daughter's confidence. Like, if she feel that way, yes, there's no problem with black women feeling confident or arrogant. And Jeff Wright, in our society, that is a problem. They consider it to be what's the word I want to use when you got a confident, like a mad black woman or something. It's something in that frame where they love to classify black women.
Same thing happened to Serena, right?
Yeah, Michelle Obama. It was all they all was put in this particular box when they showed any kind of confidence or / arrogance. So,
right, but I always say it also is always going to depend on who's behind them, because sometimes that arrogance is acceptable. Like, a lot of people might not remember her, but if you go back, remember Mary Lou Retton, right?
Yeah.
She made the cover of the Wheaties box.
Yeah.
What was the girl? Remember the two ice skaters, Tanya Harding and what was the girl that she hit in the knee? Like, look at figure skaters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Ice skaters.
I know what you're talking about.
Extremely, not Nancy Kerrigan. Yeah.
Yep. That's her
So
name.
go back and look at all of these figure skaters with these flamboyant outfits, and they're doing all these spins and flips. That's not arrogance. But they're like, oh, well, they didn't have a shirt saying, I don't care about the shirt. What I'm saying is, in an athletic competition, you want confidence, and especially if you've already proved it. It was like Usain Bolt walking around with a shirt saying fastest man on earth.
Yeah.
He got a right to say it until somebody beats him.
Yep.
So I just think for a while, like, you got to be able to look at everything going on, and you got to be able to look and analyze and say, okay, let's just talk about it. Why do you think they're jumping on Simone Biles? And if you don't believe race has a part of it, you're fooling yourself, because you can tell you why. Name another gymnast on the team.
Mm-hmm.
You know
I don't know none. I don't know none.
Win, lose, or draw. You can't name anybody else on the team. And you can say, well, Simone Biles was a high-profile athlete. That's fine. But the bottom line is the hate that she's getting. You know, people call him a snowflake. You talk about people from the right, all these different things, right? I'm going to have to pull Jeff up again because he's killing it again. So I guarantee you, if Biles was white, there will be a general consensus that she deserves empathy.
Yeah, without question.
Because what happened? She's already excelled and performed in one Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Right? And you got to be honest, man. This Japanese Olympic game, it's not even like a major competition because she don't even have that crowd to feed on. Nope. You know what I mean? They're doing this just for against the other teams, and I get it. But I'm still saying Olympic competition, you don't get that adrenaline rush from the crowd. I think that's going to be a significant difference, especially when we get to the track and field. I don't think the times are going to be as fast because you don't have all the jitters of, you know what I mean? It's like when I ran track in high school, right? You
ran track.
Stop it.
Man, you big as hell, I know.
wait, I'm out. In high school, man, I was about to say, different world, man. Hold up, man. I used to run the 100 and 200, man. Shout out to the B team out there, man. Squad DCHS. Y'all know what it is.
Man, for those that don't know my brother, this guy every bit of 280, man.
Man, wait, time out. But once again, see, look, I'm gonna have to pull up my old stuff, man. Cause you be trying to play me. I'm gonna pull up my old. Shout out to everybody, you know, Pebblebrook who remember Coach Graham. They know what it was. They knew your boy was a heck of an athlete. You know what I mean?
I'm not disputing that, but you said track, like you
track, man. That's what I'm saying. You
like 315. You like that's still big.
Man, 190 for running track, man, was not there. Like I said, I wasn't the fastest.
I was fast because I was little and I was skinny and small.
Man, I was fast. When if one of my Pebblebrook students was watching, they know what
somebody need to find that.
You know what? I'm gonna pull up the old footage because you don't believe it. I'm gonna pull up the old footage. I got it on Facebook, man. I like to keep all my evidence. It's almost like a movie. You understand what I'm saying?
You saying you ran track?
Yeah,
it's good. It's the same as Jeff saying he didn't have an S curl.
No, man, no. You're not gonna try to get me tonight, man. But we're gonna keep this thing moving because
Jeff had an S curl.
All I'm saying is to all my former athletes out there, you know what it is to have a crowd. It don't matter what the crowd is.
Yeah,
you want to have a crowd. You want to feed off that energy. You know your times is faster when some girls is at the track meet. When somebody is there to cheer you on the football game, you're going to play harder if you got a big crowd out there. That's just the way it is. And, yeah, man, he trying to be a hater tonight, Jeff, talking about you got an S-curl. Shout out to Jeff, man, because I'm not going to say who created this meme, but this individual created this meme called Black Conservative Starter Kit. And one of the aspects of it was not having a good hairline. But I must say, my guy Jeff Charles, you can follow him over there at Twitter. Follow him over at the
shout out to Jeff.
oh my God, I'm doing a horrible plug. Jeff, put your Twitter up in the thing so I can do this properly. I'm gonna give you a good plug. But he's at least one of the Black conservatives or conservatarians or whatever he likes to call himself that does have a good hairline. So shout out to Jeff Charles, man, because he definitely sends that stereotype the other way. But I do believe, at Jeff on the right, I was like, man, sorry I had a brain freeze there because this dude got me all of my athletic performance again, and he done got me out of my zone tonight. But yeah, man, shout out at Jeff on the right and a fresh perspective on YouTube, man. Shout out to Jeff Charles, man, one of the good Black conservatives out there with a crisp hairline.
A fresh perspective on YouTube.
Yeah.
Also, too, real quick, and I'll plug. Jeff wrote an article, kind of like talking about Simone Biles. So Jeff, put that up there too. So we also can chop that up and maybe put it up also later for a preview. But the article that you wrote too.
Cool. So if you want to follow him on
go
Twitter,
ahead. My bad.
Twitter handle And if you want to follow him on YouTube,
Yeah.
Fresh Perspective on YouTube. Very, very good channel. Very, very informative channel. All right. So, I mean, I just feel like, to put a bow on the Simone Biles aspect, I feel like you got to talk about her race being a part of it. And the sad thing about it was, I believe once
It does.
she adopted and raised by white people,
That
ain't
part
that
I
cool
don't know.
enough?
I don't be following that deep.
I believe she was adopted and raised by white people, but it's still not good enough just because, I mean, she's still black. You understand what I'm
Let me
saying?
throw
So
this
it's
up
a
there real quick.
situation for me.
I'm just throwing this up there so we can chop it up
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. But I feel like if it's almost like you want to go to what was the movie, A Time to Kill, and you do the Matthew McConaughey speech and you ask, now imagine she was white. It's like, that's how I feel sometimes, because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, I don't think she would get the hate and outrage for saying she's the best, right? I understand, or it would be understandable, right? The outrage that is coming from mostly from people on the right towards Simone Biles if they were talking about the U.S. soccer team. Why? Because the U.S. women's soccer team, they took knees. They've been very political. They've been very left-leaning, if you will. They've been all about Black Lives Matter, stuff like that. I would get the outrage for the U.S. women's soccer team. However, they're not even getting the same type of hate that she is. But that's, like like my friend said, man, it is what it is, man. Staying in that whole Olympic mind frame, the United States basketball team loses to France. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you
Okay.
know do you know who the brother is right there for France?
Is that Rudy Gobert?
That is Rudy Gobert. Can you tell who's guarding him?
Okay.
Do you know who that brother is
Look
who's
like Kwame
guarding?
Brown. I
No, that's
don't.
not Kwame Brown. That is
Kwame, they got a shot, man.
So you don't. He plays on the Indiana Pacers. Do you know who it is now? Still no
Still don't
idea.
know.
Okay, cool.
I probably know the
Well,
name if you say the name.
yeah, his name is Miles Turner.
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you the USA men's roster. You ready? Bam Adebayo.
Okay, I know who
Devin
he is. Okay.
Okay, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Jeremy Grant,
Okay.
Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, Keldon Johnson, Zach LaVine, Damian Lillard, JaVale McGee, Chris Middleton, and Jason Tatum. All right, that was the Olympic team roster. I believe they made a couple of changes, and you got people like Kevin Love's on there. And I think a couple of those people switched out. But yeah, that's who we sent to to Tokyo to try to bring home the gold. And everybody lost their minds when they lost to France by 7. Go ahead and call it right now. Will the U.S. Olympic basketball team win gold? Even though they lost their opening game.
I still can, but I do believe too. Also, this is a subpar. Yeah, it's still a subpar team. That's what you like. I mean, Kevin Durant is by far the best player on the team, right?
Okay.
I mean, when you think about the Dream Team, when you think about the Redeem Team in 08 and 012, they was loaded, right? All 3 of those Olympics, like it wasn't even fun watching them. Right, because they were just blowing everybody out. I mean, just big margins. So, I think this team is subpar, but they still NBA professionals though, so they should be able to still win.
Right. But you got to understand, this is 3 losses. Even though the other 2 were exhibitions,
it's
say they
a
don't.
subpar team.
Okay, go ahead. I think we got a little delay. But go
Say it
ahead.
again.
Now, I was
Go see
saying
what you
that.
said.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you got to realize this is 3 losses, even though 2 were exhibitions. So now the U.S. team, I haven't checked. I'm pretty sure they beat Iran today. I hope. I haven't looked yet. So y'all can fact check. I'm going to say we beat Iran. Y'all can fact check that if y'all want to. But I'm going to say we beat Iran, but we lost to Nigeria, Australia in exhibition games, and we lost to France. So that now makes Team USA 1-3 so far. Not in the Olympics, but just, kind of sort of playing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Like I said once again, though, I just think you know, it's really a subpar team. It's not our best.
Right.
It's not our best.
Okay.
So
Um.
I got a delay.
Yeah, I think you got a little bit of one, or it could be a situation where it's me, but I'm not quite sure. I can only look at what I'm seeing, and when I speak, yeah, I think you got a little bit of a delay. I think. If you're out there in the chats, man, let me know what's going on, because I can't tell if I'm delayed, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm in the mountains of West Virginia in Iron Man's basement, so I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or if it's yours, but hopefully it'll tighten up here pretty soon. Okay, yeah, now you look to be moving. Okay, yeah. So you said you.
All right.
So do you believe they'll still win gold? Yes or no?
I mean, it's hard to say yes and no. I mean, either or. It's hard to pick because of the subpar team. But I'm just gonna say yeah, because I believe in the men's basketball NBA. So I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go against you just because I feel like, the name of this show is a Nontroversy at the Olympics, and I think I want to say I got that from the hotels, Nontroversy, but yeah, Nontroversy is the USA basketball team not winning the gold. So I'm going to go against the grain and say they won't win everything, and somehow, some way, neither will women's soccer. The softball team will win, but the soccer team won't. So that's just my little prediction. All right, let's go on to our next topic tonight.
Okay.
Joe Biden says that by the end of this year, he's going to withdraw all troops from Iraq. Your thoughts? Uh-oh. You heard me, Corey? I'm going to assume. I said he said he'll withdraw all.
I mean,
yeah, go ahead. I think it's a little bit of a delay. Go ahead.
Let me go out and come back in. You just keep talking. Let me go out.
Okay, I got you. So I'll give my thoughts on the withdrawal of troops in Iraq. My thoughts on us being in Iraq in the first place, right? What was the point? What was the point of us being there? Why are we there? A lot of these times with these wars and other things that we find ourselves involved in this country, it's like, what's our reason for being there in the first place, right? People can say, oh, WMDs, as George Jr. said, right? We got the WMDs. We got to fight terrorism. We have all these different things that we have to try and work out. But since Pearl Harbor, and you can even go back and look at why, or possibly some motivations that the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. But I'm saying, much better. You could say in the history of this country, we've had two attacks on American soil, basically. Pearl Harbor, 9/11. Okay? So if you got 9/11 in Pearl Harbor, you have to think about, okay, how many other conflicts has the United States of America got involved in? How many other countries have we got involved? I know a lot of people was talking about, got to be careful now that we're back on the white channel, but interference, right, in our democratic process. But how many times have we not just affected the ballot box, but just took out a candidate? You understand what I'm saying? Not even concerning ourselves with what the people of that country want or any of those type of things, because we're saying it's in the best interest of America. I think that's something that needs to be looked at. So anytime you want to tell me troops are coming home, I'm saying, well, they should have never been there in the first place. To me, any American life lost on foreign soil, like now, I don't really know what we're doing at this point, because you can tell me that we're fighting anything to do with like terrorism or something like that, but it just doesn't feel that way. What are your thoughts on, because like I said, you have been vocal on the show plenty of times saying that you voted for Joe Biden, and I know this isn't quote unquote a black agenda, but what are your thoughts about troop removal from Iraq?
What was the question again? Because he kind of went out.
Oh yeah, I was asking about troop removal. What are your thoughts on
the
troops out of Iraq? No, you're fine.
Oh yeah,
what are your thoughts on getting the troops out of Iraq?
once again, I think it's a good thing. I mean, it's time to bring those troops home. They've been there too long. It's crazy. This is went on longer than Vietnam, right? And so I think it's a good. I don't care who the president is. I think it's just whoever has the ideal of bringing the troops home. This is one thing that I disagree with Republicans on. They feel like that we have to police the world. This is one of the things that pisses me off with the Republican Party, because they always try to invoke America's interest or America's safety. Let the police, let those countries deal with the shit that they got to do. You know, like once again, I think I said it on previous shows. Just imagine if Iran, China, Iraq, or Russia felt like they had to come over here and stand up for black people, and then send troops. It's like, no, that'll be a no-no. So let them police, their own countries and let them do what they do. I mean, the goal was to get Osama bin Laden, if I'm not mistaken, right? We got Osama bin Laden. Bring them home. If they want to create ISIS and all that other stuff over there and let them blow each other up, let them do what they do. It has nothing to do with us, right? Even right, like I said, not just. I'll add this too. Even liberals, especially the people that we have involved. I mean, like me and you talked about it. What was it? I think 20 days into Joe Biden's administration, he was dropping bombs on shit. So I mean, it's like over in Syria. So it's like, man, let's end this war stuff, man. Let's just get it over with. Bring the troops home. Let's treat them right. Let's get them the mental health that they need. Let's compensate them for all the work that they've done to make sure that they can fit back into regular American lives and society, and let that be what it be. That's just my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, you pretty much summed it up for me. I just think that the only thing that I would add to that is that there have been numerous conflicts, numerous countries that we've gone into, numerous administrations that we affect. That's why sometimes I think it's laughable when I hear certain people in Congress, or this Congress as an entity, talking about election interference, right? And when I hear that, I'm like, but y'all be co-signing missions in countries we don't have no business going into, and y'all not even let the people vote or do anything. You just go in there straight, take out a leader of a country like it's the norm. And I think that's one thing that we got to understand as Americans. It's good to be patriotic. Yeah, it's good to be patriotic. It's good to support your military. I get all of that, right? But at the end of the day, you got to realize, like, what is our military out there doing to cause some of these things to happen? And I hate to tell you, because we can't even say that with 100% surety in this country, but it ain't just because we free, and it ain't because of they hate us because of all the liberties and freedoms that we have. That ain't it. I don't know nobody willing to die over this. Basically, like, what you try, it's like you almost got to believe this. The rest of them people or them countries or them organizations, they just hate. They just hating on us that bad that they willing to take their own lives for it. I don't believe it. That is a revenge, in my opinion, a revenge-led attack or whatnot. But I agree. If Joe Biden and the Biden administration want to pull troops out of Iraq, I'm looking over at Afghanistan. I remember the other day, I believe, I got to go back and look at it, who said they would work with, but I believe somebody said that they would work with, what are we fighting over in the Taliban, right? They said if the Taliban gains control in Afghanistan, then they'll be willing to work. I think it might have been the United Nations or it was some group of India. I got to check back in on that. But there was a group, there was either I don't want to say it was the Biden administration, but somebody said they was willing to work with the Taliban if they gain control of Afghanistan. If you don't remember, I'm like, ain't that who we was over there fighting this whole time? Ain't the Taliban the bad guys? From what I remember. So I just think it's just like, man, stuff is just, we've been places so long, everything is coming full circle. So I'm like, you want to get the troops out of Iraq, I'm all for it. Last on the agenda tonight, this is the pictures of some of the Democrats, I believe. And, well, they got Mitt Romney out there, so I can't just say the Democrats, but the infrastructure bill looks like it's finally made its way across the desk of Congress. And pretty much I'll kind of just sum it up a little bit. I'm reading this off of CBS News, and it says that GOP senators say they've reached agreement on major issues in the infrastructure bill. Okay, it says 5 Republican senators negotiating the bipartisan infrastructure framework said Wednesday they have reached an agreement on the major issues. Got to figure out what those are, of the bill with Senate Democrats and the White House, potentially capping weeks of talk that at times appeared on the brinks of collapse. Senator Rob Portman of Ohio, who has been leading negotiations for Republicans, announced the breakthrough after meeting with Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and 4 other Republican senators. A vote to advance the measure would require 60 votes, meaning 10 Republicans would have to join all Democrats in voting. Okay, so it apparently appears as though they're going to get this infrastructure bill done. Now, haven't had a chance to look at the bill. I'm just thinking, based on what the bill is called, it's called an infrastructure bill. So I believe, people know what I out there do. I'm out here on the road every single day. So infrastructure to me is these bridges, the roads, railways, a lot of different modes of transportation. That would also include our ports and port authorities. That would include a lot of these different things that we have. So if there's a bill out there that wants to get the roads better, that wants to basically increase what they call intermodal transportation, I'm all for it. However, some of the things that I've heard being discussed in an infrastructure bill seem like they don't have anything to do with the actual infrastructure of the country. So, let's see, my boy is back. I want to get your thoughts. It apparently appears that they're going to be able to get bipartisan support for the infrastructure bill. Once again, I know this is not on your black agenda for voting for, he went out again, for voting for President Joe Biden. But when he comes back, I will want to get his opinion about what he thinks about the bill. Because, so far the Biden administration have signed a hate crime bill for Asian Americans dealing with the pandemic, right?
Man, is this better? Because mine tripping, bro.
Yeah. That's probably going to be a better look for you right now, only because it's not delayed. I apparently feel like I got you back in time. But I'll just ask you right now while I got you, what are your thoughts on just the infrastructure bill? Like I was saying before, I know it's not a black agenda still, but apparently it looks like we're going to be able to get bipartisan support for an infrastructure bill. What are your thoughts?
I mean, my thoughts is, I think it's a good idea, but is it going to happen? I mean, there's so much infighting in Washington that are we ever really going to get to one? Like that's the crazy part. Like they said they came up with one in principle, but there still hasn't been a bill passed in the House and the Senate. So, I mean, I'm from a state where I was just up there a few weeks ago. The roads terrible in Michigan.
Yeah.
There's a few down here, not like Michigan though, but I mean, you hear about buildings collapsing. I mean, you hear about all this stuff that's going on. So it's like, can we invest back in America instead of investing everywhere else? So I think the infrastructure bill is a good idea, but it's like, can they agree just on that? And this is the hypocrisy going on the left and the right in Washington. They all say they're for it, but they all still want to put pork in there. Like that word hasn't been used in a long time since Obama. Pork.
Yeah.
You remember that word, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, I wish they would come together on something and make it happen.
Right. Yeah. I think when you were going, I had just talked about they supposedly it's almost like a NFL contract, right? They've reached a tentative agreement where they might be able to get something across the finish line here. So they need 10 Republican votes to get this bill passed. So, it's almost a situation now, right, where I'm going back and I'm thinking about the Trump administration. And I'm thinking about trying to get legislation passed or any of these other things passed because, now they're saying, everything needs 60 votes for the most part, right? So now it's like I'm looking back at the Trump administration like, well, what did they get passed? You understand what I'm saying? Because if you need 60 votes and it was like, the Republicans might have had the majority, like a one-person majority, but they weren't getting 10 Democrats on their side. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, are they actually doing? I mean, like, we got to be honest. Are elected officials actually doing anything? Because if you need 10 votes from the other side, man, good luck, on whatever it is. I know, they passed the hate crime bill because
And facts.
Republicans are trying to look like, trying to save face, right? But when they came with that police reform bill, they was like, well, hold up now, you back the blue and you don't want to not. I don't agree with defund the police. Let me be straightforward. But when the opposition is saying defund the police, then you're not trying to pass a police reform bill. So I just feel like what's actually getting passed right now that they can get 10 votes from the other side. And then I'm thinking back during the Trump administration, what could they have got 10 votes on from the other side? Because you had a couple of like borderline Democrats that would probably vote on certain things, but I'm like, are they actually doing any work?
No, not. None at all. They just there and we footing the bill for it.
That's what it's looking like, man, because they told me they needed 60 votes for this infrastructure bill. I was like, yeah, that's not happening. But apparently, Trump out the way. The Republicans are looking somewhat more, they're trying to, I'm not saying they're trying to work across the aisle a little bit more, but they do, because once again, I tried to tell you that the Republican Party and the Democrats, these guys go have dinner when they're not on CNN and when they're not, keeping the country mad at one half of the country. These people are friends. You're getting played, but a lot of people don't want to see that. I'm trying to tell you, there's so many underhand deals going on in Washington. I just think you're an idiot if you just believe the hype or the animosity is real that you see on TV. To me, they're actors playing a role, and they play their role very well. Why? Because look at what's going on in our country. You got half the country mad at the other half of the country for voting for the people that we all complain about. It makes absolutely no sense. So if the infrastructure bill does not, they talk about the pork, right? Like, it should be, like I said before, all bridges, roads, railroads, construction, all these different types of things. Shouldn't have nothing on there about immigration. It shouldn't have nothing in there about, some sort of voting laws, any other type of reform bills. Keep that separate and do something different. So, I am going to just kind of wrap things up here. Hopefully my boy will be back. But I just like to say, man, I like to thank all of them. We got sponsors now. So shout out to our sponsors, man. Once again, shout out to my boy, that boy Birdie. A sponsor of the show is goodmoneypicks.com. And I'm going to let y'all see the, we got a little commercial for that, a little promo for that. So hold on one second.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex on.
So yeah, if you haven't already, man, and you're in the sports book, you're in the sports wagering and things like that, you can go over to goodmoneypicks.com, get your picks. Also subscribe to Real is Rare TV on the white platform, and check out my boy, that boy Birdie over there on Real is Rare TV, where he sometimes gives out his picks for free. So definitely go check that out. Mr. Barack Obama, you want to go ahead and let the people know what you got coming up, and we're going to go ahead and get up out of here.
BPB on Mondays at 7 p.m. Hopefully my Wi-Fi be better, because this is crazy tonight, man. Women, for a long time, it was you. Now it's all of a sudden me, but my Wi-Fi acting crazy.
But, okay, that's what's up, man.
Here we go. I don't know what's going on, man. Just the devil man working today, man.
It's all good, man. I'm gonna go ahead. I got you, man. I'm gonna go ahead and close this thing on out, man. Once again, man, if you haven't already, you got to make sure you hit me up on all major platforms. You can comment on the bottom of this or any of our shows. We do have the Suicide Squad Deadpool coming up. So once again, there are plenty of characters left. If you haven't already entered this contest, like I said, my boy Corey has the Thinker, and Felicia Killings has Bloodsport, and I have Javelin. So you still got plenty of people. You still got plenty of people that you can select, try to enter this contest, because next week when Suicide Squad comes out, We will be doing this exclusively on Libre TV.
I don't know what's going on.
We're gonna have a live watch party. We're gonna watch the Suicide Squad. Everybody on here, you know, a little bit of live commentary. We're gonna try to shut up and let you watch the movie, but you know, something crazy happened, or if your guy get killed, you know, I probably am gonna have to get on the mic real quick and say something. But we definitely gonna be broadcasting, you know, exclusively on Libre TV for that. So we just want to let everybody know. So, like I said, if you want to join the contest, all you got to do is make sure that your name is something where it can be traced to an email address or whatever the case may be, and put down which character you believe will still be alive at the end of Suicide Squad, because the director has promised to have plenty of character deaths and a lot of good things going on. So we're definitely going to enjoy that. But, you know, once again, man, yeah, it's you know, that's why I always say, man, things come full circle, man. So it used to be my Wi-Fi. If you can go back to the classic days of BPB, or sometimes Purple Pill, or shoot, it was even my Wi-Fi when we did the election special and we was in the same room. So I don't know.
Terrible.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna get it together, but it's all good, man. I'm gonna go ahead and do the end part, you know, all good, because I don't want it to be like
this is
take
terrible.
like 20 minutes. It take like 20 minutes to do it, but yeah, like I said, man, welcome to my world. I already had to make my disclaimer to Verizon and let them know.
This terrible, man.
Tomorrow, I'll be back. We're doing the Hollywood, man. The Expectation of Monogamy. We'll be doing that tomorrow at 7 p.m. Saturday on the Kamikage Show, I'm talking about I'm calling it the new Masters of the Universe, quote unquote He-Man show they made was a travesty. I'm gonna be going in on that. And like I said, man, follow us on all platforms. We're everywhere now. We're on Libre TV. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on the White platform. So you got to make sure, you know, White is spelled YT. So you know where we at. We everywhere. Find us at Libre TV on all platforms, on Instagram, everywhere. So that's all we got for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and say this whole part. So like I said, it don't take 20 minutes in case the Wi-Fi go out. We'll can just throw up the deuces. We've been watching Purple Pill Politics, man. Oh, man, coming in and showing some love. You've been watching Purple Pill Politics tonight, man. And we always say we don't care if you're red or blue, Democrat, Republican, conservative or liberal. Just don't be stupid. And we've been Purple Pill Politics, man. Y'all have a great night.
Don't be stupid.